Okay, thank you very much. We I want to do a little simple recitation on our guest this afternoon. Our guest is Itunu Falowoluwaseun. Following Itunu Oluwaseun, he partners with schools to help them break their enrollment figures, and he has partnered with over 700 schools across Nigeria, online and offline, and he has several schools that he consults for outside Nigeria. He's the current lead consultant and the community manager of over 12,000 educators, online, offline, who benefit from his repertoire of knowledge in edu business. Currently, our coach is residing outside Nigeria, is in Canada. So he is calling in from Canada. And it's a very big sacrifice for us to have Mr. Oluwaseun. So currently now, Mr. Itunu will take the lead as he discusses the subject matter of today. And I want you to get your questions ready as we will present those things so that he uses his expertise to provide solution to some of those things. Mr. Falowu Itunu, you can now take the lead. Welcome.
Thank you so much, sir. I really appreciate the introduction. I think I'm hearing myself.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, all right. So basically, I will be having a session today, and I'm glad to be talking about this very crucial topic. Thank you so much for the honor. I've followed your work for some time, and the difference between your work and every other person is the practicality it has. Really, the practical side of anybody can call themselves an expert, basically. But the story behind you being an expert, people can go online and Google things and just download information. But the experience, when somebody that is talking from experience is speaking, you see the difference that this person has gone through this particular thing before. So thank you so much, sir, for being a blessing. Let me use that word to the education sector. So because of our time, I'm going to get straight to the presentation. I'm trying to share my presentation. I don't know if it's possible. I don't know if my screen is being shared.
You can't see it yet.
You can't see it, okay? Okay, let me just talk from it then, if I can share it. So, firstly, I'm welcoming every one of us back to school after the long holiday. Happy New Year to us after I've been brief holiday. And I pray that this year is a wonderful year for every one of us. In Jesus' name.
Amen.
So today I've been given the topic revamping the building fortunes in private school business. I've been given that topic. And we're going to talk about this for a while. Now, there are always two sides to a coin. And while it's dwindling on some angle, for some are also experiencing the best time of their lives as regards the school business. And there are pretty much basic reasons for that. Now, as school owners, I want us to know that we live in an agile world. Let me use that explanation. We live in an agile world. Agile world means we live in an ever-changing world, ever-changing atmosphere. So, knowing that personally for myself, I try as much as possible to kill the goose that laid the golden egg. I'm gonna give that example. It means when I see what works, I'm happy that it works. But I don't sit down with what works because I know technology innovation can erode what works over time. And I'm going to give you practical examples. Consulting and coaching, before I came into the consulting and coaching business, had largely been something people did offline, go to schools, organize seminars, and all of that. But I knew personally that that was just an aspect and I could take it further. So I started going to schools physically, but over time, I killed that aspect of my business. I murdered it. Let me use the word. I used my own innovation to murder it. So it will have been better for me to use my own innovation to murder it than an external innovation murders that and renders me jobless. Or so we live in an agile world. Agile world means things are constantly changing and the flexibility must be there. So if we don't have that, then we're going to experience what is currently it, and not just the education sector, it's in all sectors across Nigeria, basically. Now, there are many reasons for that. So I titled this as a two side of a coin, which is one, revamping the dwindling fortunes in the education business, or tapping into the global opportunities for your school. So the perspective you look at it from will determine your experience of what is going on, basically. In My name is Follow International, as I've been introduced. I'm the founder of the Five Secret community, and over a period of 6 years, I've been able to grow the community to about 24,000 members. In fact, right now, I had to turn off my adverts because I was getting busier than planned. So what that means is I've been able to, in a sector where everybody thinks that it's not possible, I've been able to build something very solid over the past 7 years. So why must you innovate today? In the world today, they use the word innovate or die. Firstly, in Lagos alone, there are about, according to statista.com, there are about 20,000 schools as at 2019. They don't have an updated figure currently. There are about 20,000 schools in Lagos alone. And guess what, sir? Only 5,000 of these schools are registered. So about 15,000 schools are unregistered. And that is at 2019, and it's still counting. So that's to tell you that people open schools like they are opening, I don't know, it's just they just open schools. They just wake up one day and feel they can teach something and open schools. And I see it, this is a major problem. I even see it on the quality of English some of our children speak, where you see young children, they say things like you hear them say things like I, I maybe they use present tense and past tense in such a way.
Just
It's just to tell
combine.
you it's just to tell you the quality of people leading the school, the quality of teachers that are in the industry on its own. So it's been like that. And the major reason is not the fault of the private owners. In fact, I appreciate the private school owners for bridging the gap at that particular point, for bridging the gap. The reason is this. I've been able to experience the education in Canada, and I see the support of the government, which practically reduces the need to open plethora of private schools. So, because of this number of schools opening up in Nigeria, uh, the number of options for parents are constantly expanding. So, it's harder to build a larger number of students because on a street, for example, there are 5 schools. So the parents are the advantage. They have options. It's harder to have 100, 200, 300 students. Before, you didn't even need, I mean, I knew a school in my mom's area. The school practically just had sheds as at maybe 15 years ago, just sheds all over, and it was numbering 700 students. The condition of the learning environment was so poor. The condition of there was no coloration. In fact, at a point in time, I thought it was a public school. I thought it was a public school until they told me it's actually owned by a private person. But when schools began to flood into the area, and he was the only school, and it grew from being the only school to close to 70 something schools in that area. His number drops, I mean, below 100 now, and he's now innovating seriously, building upstairs, coloring he's doing more, and he's still seeing lesser results. So, firstly, it's not your fault. It is because we live in a non-controlled environment, especially when it comes to education sector. So it's looking like the people working hard are not really doing anything. Basically, that's number one. All right. Number two, number two, bedeviling factor in the education sector, apart from the number of schools that are opening, we are now living in a time where many teachers have what I call income options. You know, there is a very popular guy on Facebook. I don't know if Mr. Joshua Falade will know him. He's a very, very popular person on Facebook. And he talks about being more than a teacher, Kazim Abolore. And
Okay.
is creating, in fact, his income from his side also is greater than his salary.
Yes. Real estate, many more.
Many more things he's doing. But he has such common sense that he has still decided to stay as a teacher and not resign. But how many people can do that? How many people will just, man, I'm making more. What am I doing here? And bail out. So there are so many income options. And I must tell you the truth. There was a time, a long time ago, he chatted me up that I want to talk to the school owners and have teaching on being more than a teacher. I said, I'm really sorry. I won't be able to welcome that topic on my community. I said, it's like I'm giving you the weapon for school owners to give their teachers to shoot them in the leg. And then you find a way to reach out to them, because schools right now, many teachers are not matured enough to combine it like you do. A lot of teachers, they see it as a way to get back and fire their boss. And that mentality is not right for the education sector. So what am I saying in essence to this? Many income options are available. So teachers today that got into the teaching sector, not for passion, but really for money, are bailing out. They are just finding income option. We have not even started talking about others. The income option available today is creating a problem already. So we find school owners call me and complain to me that almost no amount they try to offer a teacher at a particular point in time, they seem not to get the teaching, the teachers. So let me give an example now for a teacher that could maybe earn 40,000 passively, and you're offering the person a salary of 30,000. That's if some schools even offer up to that. It's really a great bargain for them to say, you know what, I want to be on my own. So we have this already bedeviling the education sector, and I saw this as far back as 2-3 years ago, saying that teachers are coming to that place where they'll begin to make a decision for themselves. So that means that, and when we look at the job demand of a teacher, is so crazy. So that means that you must be offering more than a salary, even though the solution is not for you to increase 500%, but you must be offering an environment that a teacher looks forward to, for you to really keep a teacher for as long as you can. And mind you, like I said, not all teachers have the capacity to do a side also. Not all teachers can do it. Most of them that left during the COVID-19 are already coming back, basically. But it's not easy to also do that side also, as people claim it is. So that's the second point. The third is technology integration. It's almost impossible to get qualitative parents today without a mix of technology in the operations of your school. But how many schools can afford good standard technology? When I mean technology, I mean digitizing having a website, digitizing your results, digitizing your reports, digitizing some of those things, having computer-based test exams for your students, because we live in a tech world, and parents are almost saying, if this school is not doing tech, even if this school is not doing tech, it's like everybody, just like the crave of doctors, lawyers at a particular point in time, there's a crave of tech. So If your school doesn't really have a mix of tech, that's another bedeviling factor in the sector. I've mentioned three already. The first bedeviling factor is the fact that multiple schools are opening, like you're opening onion shops. The second one is teachers are getting to chase multiple income streams, hereby distracting them from wanting to take up teaching jobs. The third one is tech integration is getting much more important since COVID 19. That if you're a school not looking in the direction of tech, and tech doesn't mean something complicated. Tech is as simple as having an online platform to follow up with your parents, your students, and your teachers, which can be as simple as even a WhatsApp. So if you don't have tech integration with your school, it's almost getting impossible to attract quality parents. That's the third point. And the fourth point, which is the final point, is relocation prospects. Now, in Nigeria as a whole doesn't have plan for the education sector. From maybe Lagos State government has some. I don't know. I don't see any serious plans. But other countries of the world are practically creating relocation streams for teachers. It's quite funny. I'm going to use the recent UK posts that people have been sharing up and down, of UK is looking for teachers and thereabout. That's an example. And the reason is because I'm going to use Canada because that's the country I live in currently, and that's one I understand. In Canada, for example, a lot of migrants are moving in, and a lot of Canadians themselves are not interested in giving birth. So they are not concerned about daycare. That's Canadians, the real Canadians themselves. But immigrants are moving in and they are giving birth to children. So in order for the government to sensitize the populace to really give birth to children, they pay every family a $600 income for every child you give birth to every month till the age of 18 years. They pay that directly to your account. And not just that, they made a subsidy available for every school, every registered school. So for every number of children in your daycare, they are paying 50%. The federal government is paying 50% of your daycare fees. The state government is paying like 10 to 15% of the daycare fees. So let's say the daycare fee is $1,200 per month. The government will pay like $600. The state government will pay another $200. So the money that comes out of your pocket can only be like $400. And the government is already sending you $600 in cash in case you don't have that money to pay. So you can see the investment into the daycare system. So that is costing a lot of migrants to now say, you know what, let me open daycare. So a lot of daycare are springing up now because of the government's incentives. I did a training in the inner circle for a whole month, speaking on the opportunities that are available for schools and school owners to get a permanent residency and come open a daycare. And I'm going to tell you the opportunities later. But I'm saying that governments of international countries, Canada, UK, are active about reaching out to the daycare. They are so active about it right now to say, you know what, you have the skill, you have the experience. So now TRCN, just like a lawyer has the bars, the legal association, the Nigerian bar, and all of that, to verify their status as a lawyer as they are moving abroad or moving everywhere to practice. The doctor has their own association to verify them. Now teachers are now becoming like that. It's in Nigeria that teaching is not controlled. Every part of the world, teaching is controlled. Teaching is controlled as law, as medical. So you can't just wake up one day and open a school. You must be licensed to open a school. You must be licensed to teach. If you want to teach and you are not licensed, you can only teach in under a licensed school, and you are allowed to teach for 6 months, supervised, and within that 6 months, you must get your license. If not, you get out of the sector. Your records are checked. I mean, it's so regulated. So these people are reaching out to people, and I mean, I will shock you. My child's daycare school, when I drive there and I drop him at the school, it's unlike Nigeria where you the parents, you are better than the teachers. Some of the teachers are even using better cars than you, the parents. Are you following me? So apart from the stress that is involved, is not less compensated like any other work. So that is why this is now becoming so attractive, and they are actively reaching out. There's a current program called Caregiver Program in Canada that the government opened this January for people who have worked in the caregiver sector to come in. And they said they just want to invite 2,500 and something people. They opened it January 1, and the program filled up in 3 hours. In 3 hours, like it didn't last January 1 before it closed again. In 3 hours, it filled up. So imagine them looking at that and opening it up for a year. That's to tell you the hunger that is outside there for teachers. But what is now the way forward? Looking at all these four things bedeviling the sectors, Firstly, as a school owner in Nigeria, you must think agile. Agile means you must think flexible. You must be open-minded. You must be ready for these innovations. You must be ready for, you must not be shocked by them. When you are shocked by them, it really shows you don't understand what 21st century means. And I see a lot of 21st century educator, and the 21st century educator will resist change. So you must be ready for it. I'm going to start with the first thing, which is number of increasing schools. Now that you know that there are number of schools increasing, what will set you apart are three things. I'm going to pick one point after the other to go into the relocation too. What will set you apart? Now that you know that number of schools are increasing, there are three core secrets I'm going to share in that area. You know that there are now so many competitors. So there are three things you must work on every month, every day. Is number one, if you're still in the industry, you're still there in Nigeria. My mom still runs a school in Nigeria. I have a couple of my clients that run a school in Nigeria, and some of them are doing well. What are the three things you must know? Number one, what makes my school different? What am I trying to communicate here? So it's getting to the point where it's not about I just want to open a school. What is the impact, change, provable change I can showcase in the life of these children? Because Nigerian parents don't look at results. They don't look at it. Go and check the result of last term. How many of them have collected it in your school? How many of them have collected the result of last term in your school? They don't look at results. They look at my child cannot read it to Z, my child cannot write, my child cannot read, my child cannot speak Queen's English. They look at what the child can do. And I've been saying this for the past 7 years. It's getting real now. What makes your school unique? Number one. Number two will be creating strategic content and strategic events. Strategic content and strategic events. You're already there. So it's a constant drive of marketing. And gone are the days where you think when you have buildings, all the children will flock to your school. That's a lie from the pit of hell. There are schools that have buildings that there's nobody there. Telling you so much, located by the roads that I encountered, nobody there, because it's going beyond that. Is now getting into what makes your school unique. Not just that, how are you pushing out this uniqueness on a daily basis? How are you pushing out this uniqueness? So if my desire is I want to be as big as possible. My desire is to see children spell words and read. Maybe that's my desire. And I'm achieving that as a uniqueness in my school. Am I recording those content? Am I pushing them out? Am I inviting people to witness that? It's a lot of energy, but that's what it takes. Am I inviting people to witness that? Am I sending invitations out for people to witness what is happening in my school? Am I doing that? Am I making it known publicly? So that's question number two. Question number three will be partnerships, and that is sending those unique strategic events, strategic content through your partners here, your parents, your teachers. How do you handle them? Your parents, your teachers, your community, your traffic centers around you? How are you working with these people to see the advantage of what you're doing? How are you not doubting yourself in your mind and shooting yourself in the leg? How are you taking actions, the necessary actions, to make sure that those partners see what you're doing? You know, a man of God in Nigeria, Bishop David Oyedepo, said he got the secret for church growth a long time ago, and he quoted a scripture that says, people should come and see. So if you are running your school based on I'm trying to get this ideology that people say is such a crazy ideology. People say, they will say, just keep doing it. Over time, people will notice you. I'm sorry to say, people will notice you when you are only 3. But now that you are 15 in a street, you are even sharing fence. But there's a particular school owner who had a school. There was a school, same building, school upstairs, school downstairs. So in the same gate, they had to hang 2 different banners. I'm like, wow, this is crazy. You know, the landlord said, when they brought money, I collected. But there is a school in the compound. He said, they are ready to pay now. So why should I, the landlords don't care. They just want who can pay rent. So that's to tell you that there's not such thing as you just do it over time, people will see. Even Jesus himself did not sit down for people to just come out. They went out to tell. He said, who went about doing good? He went about. So it's so important that an active feature must be pushing out your uniqueness. Now, when I tell people I'm an introvert, people say, oh no, you introvert care. You write every day, you speak every day. I'm an introvert. My mom is the person that would tell people, some of them say, IT. I'm so surprised that he talks today. I'm so surprised he does things today. When he was young, he would never do this, he would never do that. And that's the truth. But as I was reading books on sales and marketing, I saw that introvertness will kill what I'm doing. If I decide not to share it on a daily and consistent basis, communicating in a particular way that gets people attention. So it's so important. What are the partnership platforms? I talked about local and global partnership. Local partnership, your parents, your staff, your teachers, your community. Local partnership. Global partnership will involve using things like your website, your WhatsApp status, your WhatsApp groups, your Facebook group, your Instagram account to push out the content about your school. Especially that WhatsApp. That WhatsApp is a congregation of easily shareable things. People share things, and I'm really sorry to say, people share devotionals, people share all manners of things. People share prayers, people share those things, but they will never share their own school. I mean, it's crazy to think. I'm absolute with this statement I'm saying, because people focus on the wrong things, taking their vision and sharing it, and say this school sharing what they are doing, and the inner circle, they know. Record those videos and push them to your platform. Parents are so selfish in their thoughts. They are looking for their children's performance. When they can spot what their children are doing, they download the video and put it on their status. They are not advertising your school, they are advertising what their children can do. But guess what? Their friends see those things on their status and chat them. What school is your child going to that you can do this kind of thing? Is mine. And the referrals begin to abound. But you see, people don't do that. And we complain. Prayer without action, prayers without action will be null and void. It's so important to take those specific actions. The things that will stop you is fear of being judged. Fear is my school looking good. Fear of people looking at you. When I started marketing my schools to people, my mom's school wasn't looking so great. And I made a presentation that way because I was able to grow the school irrespective of how it looked. People believed in my story and began to buy in bigger schools than my mom's school. Much bigger school than my mom's school. They came in and said, wow, you must be so intelligent in what you're doing. I would like to be a part of it. Because I decided to share. I would go out and knock on doors and engage and bring schools together. I will invite 103 schools to a free conference. Only 6 schools will show up. And I will present to them. And out of those 6 schools, 2 of them will pay to say consult for me. If you don't share and you just sit down there and just pray and just wait to happen, well, that's all. But only people that take action generate results. So local and global partnerships, it's so important. I'm just talking about conquering one point, and that one point is how do you break away from that community of people that are 20,000 schools, 15,000 schools all across Lagos alone. Over Nigeria, it will be close to 100. And when I looked at it, I think 111,500. That's 100,000, I mean 111,500 across Nigeria. And the last time I checked that, it was about 90,000 2 years ago. Now it has grown to about 111,000 private and public schools across Nigeria. So it keeps growing. There is no stop. And when you say uncontrolled growth, it's not real growth, it's cancer. It's cancerous growth, really. It's not that. It's some people will be affected in the long run. So that's number one. How do you break out of that? Number two, in your income options. If teachers are exposed to income options, it's not only teachers that are exposed to income options. You as a school owner are also exposed to the income option. I'll try to be rounding up because of the time. You as a school owner are also exposed to the income option. In my inner circle, it's compulsory for every school owner to create income streams. I'm still going to talk about it in the new inner circle this January. It's so compulsory because there are times where if you utilize social media marketing, you will make more from social media marketing than your school can give you. And you will have so much money to impute in your school to grow the school. I have a school owner in Delta State. Her name is Linda. She started her school 3 years ago, practically. And some of the things she did, she's in a village, but she's so intelligent. She takes my training and she's so passionate about it. And she started their school. So I said, see, run your school like Middle Hall. And I used Middle Hall as an example. Middle Hall has a school and they have Middle consults. They have Middle Hall edutainment. You might not be able to do that. I sat down with Middle Hall system and I told my mom, like, teaching your children and getting profit from uniform, blah, 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 blah. They're just one aspect of your school. That brand can get into consulting. That same brand, that little experience you have, can get into trainings. And training doesn't have to be on skills. Training can be on your diction. Training can be on your processes. Training can be on your... And I encourage school leaders to do that. And I've seen school leaders basically, they will make offers, they will do things, and in their community, they will have 200 and something leaders, over 800,000, 1 point something million made, and they use that money to develop their schools. So because our knowledge, people that are not meant to be in the teaching industry are taking, like people that are younger people are taking advantage of these online platforms. So the same income option that are available to teachers are also available to you as a school owner. What are the things you can create? You can write a book. I have a school owner who just wrote a book. I'm going to be recommending the book in the community this January. I have a school owner who wrote a book, sold it for I think about 3,000 plus, made 300 sales from it. From there, she started getting consulting programs. I mean, I had a school owner who opened what she called school warehouse. Began all the Montessori materials she was creating, the innovative things she was doing in her own school. She began to sell it online. Things people began to order. In fact, when she was talking to me, she said, Charity, from the community, people order for product as large as 1 point something million. I'm like, wow, even me, I have not gotten that personal order on any of my products before. That should tell you the income streams that are available. So, income stream. And once you have more income to put in your school, you have more income to pay your teachers, you have more income to get resources. It beautifies the example you become to teachers. And teachers will not quit a good example. Teachers will not quit a good school with a good example because they see what you're doing. You're growing, basically. So that's one. Excuse me, I'm trying to activate my second laptop. Number 3, Technology integration. I've talked about that a bit. Putting your school out there, utilizing WhatsApp group. Does your school have a website? Does your school have digital platforms where parents can interact with your school? There are free apps that can do that. We build for schools. There are free apps that can do that. If you don't have the money, you can customize it for your schools. If you are looking at going international, these are examples. If you are looking at taking your school international, you don't have a school website. Really, you don't have a school website. Before I came to Canada, I had my website up. I had my personal profile online up. I had so many things online up. So they Googled me. They saw my book, saw the things I'm doing. So easy for them to reach out and see your track record over time. So these are practical examples. And those are profiles. Those are things you can submit. If you are trying to access international opportunities, you can submit your income, submit the things you do, screenshot your community, screenshot so many things that they can see. These are examples of what I'm saying. So technology for yourself, technology for your parents. Are you not lacking behind as regards? Are you running away from it or trying to learn it? Right now, I just paid money to somebody who's going to teach me how to write for the North American market, for the Canadian technology market. And we're going to be building a blog together. Because I met this person online, and the person had a business, a blogging business that makes $300,000 per month. I was humbled by his results. So it's so important to admire these kind of things and pay for it and accept and not run away from it. That's what you call agile environment. You're studying the change and you're getting it. You're getting into it. You're studying the change and you're getting into it. So technology. And then the last one is the relocation prospect for schools. Now, I wrote a whole book on this. And that is, first of all, we must kill the japa mindset. Is devilish, is street. It's immature to think in that aspect. I told my community before I started, and I want to explain some things to you. And if you're in this community thinking about japa, please don't even use the word inside this community. I beg of you. You know, if I speak to people now, you live in Canada, you have jackpot. I told them, who told you I jackpot? Who told you that? Who told you that I jackpot out of the country? Not everybody is looking at running away from Nigeria. No. So, first of all, we must get our mindset away from you want to run. In a normal country, people travel. Like in a normal environment, people travel. So, because there are two extremes, you see people that because they hate the jackpot again, they kill it. They say, me, Nigeria, I'm in Nigeria. You can make it in this country. I mean, nobody's arguing with that. I'm making it, I'm still making it in Nigeria. Nobody's arguing with that. I would say an extreme to say Nigeria is useless. You can't make it. They have killed their best heads. That's not true also. So two extremes. But as leaders, you must begin to admire global opportunities. And it's not a route to jackpot. And I began to mention to them, I said, I organized a program in UK 3 years ago. I was not even thinking of, I just wanted to partner with a school now who is from UK, who likes my work and wanted me to come over. And she applied for me and I was denied based on the fact that I've never traveled before. I didn't have a travel history and all the program organized, the money spent, some school owners who had access to international opportunities, they went, while me, who was part of the organizer, could not go. That was very painful. I said, okay, let me go and dust up my papers and see what I can do. And I saw the opportunities that Canada offered to a permanent residency route, which favored my age, favored my wife's age, I was like, you know what? And they said they are going to give us PR. The PR will be in 3 years. With the PR card, I apply to any visa in the world. I mean, they practically give you, because now you're a Canadian PR. And in 3 years, you get citizenship. And you can travel to over 173 countries with visa on arrival. So I look at my global plan, I look at my life and say, man, this will work out. So, okay, we're saying this online. So me, as I'm here to use Canada. I'm just here to use it as a means to an end, basically. Because imagine me having a passport. That's what the Nigerian passport could not give me. Imagine me having a passport that can make me move around the world. Do you know how many schools I can study? Do you know how many people I can meet? It's so basic that this trainer that is training me on how to write, I saw the guy 2 years ago. But the cost of his training is about $1,000. And if you know the money sector in Nigeria, they reduce the amount of dollar you can transact per month to $20 per month. So I can't pay for his training because the Nigeria as a whole has reduced my destiny to the amount of opportunities I can offer. So I could not run ads in dollars because my bank would tell me I can't run more than this. I could not do so many things that was limiting. Getting out of Nigeria exposed me to so many opportunities because now, once I submit to those websites and say, hey, I want to pay for this, I want to access this training, you will see it on the list that Nigerians are banned. In fact, it happened to me immediately I landed. A particular website, I got there, I said, oh, I would like to submit, I would like to take part in this training as an affiliate as this. So I put there as from Nigeria. They wrote to me that Nigerians are banned. And I replied them with my permanent residence card of Canada that I am not talking to you from Nigeria. I'm talking to you as a Canadian PR. Please honor my request. My account was unbanned and access was granted. These are things that opportunities I didn't have access to because I was in Nigeria alone, and it's not my fault. So how wouldn't I think globally as a person? It's not for Japa. It's not. It's a street mind to say that I run away to the country. My wife, we do practically all our things from home. So not having that mindset that you want to Japa and all of those things is to make it easy for you to access global opportunities. For example, you found out that there's a Montessori training in UK. How many schoolers can easily apply for visa and travel? How many? Even if they have the money, you see the way they scrutinize because of the Nigerian brand as a whole. So don't have the mindset of saying you want to run away, because saying you want to run away from the country will mean you begin to have a mind that you want to kill your school, you want to kill your vision, which I've easily done and say, hey, school owners in Nigeria, I beg, I don't dap out. What's my own business with you people? I beg, I don't leave. But that's a very selfish and short-minded thinking. So basically, the opportunities that are available for school owners outside of Nigeria are also expanding. With your school owner experience, with your certificates, you could go online and say, who says you can't open schools? I have a school owner who I consulted for. She has a school in Nigeria. She has a school in Togo. In fact, that's Sylvia Montessori School. She has 2 schools in Togo. It's an international school. Because she likes the Nigerian system, and Togolese love our Nigerian system. Now, I can tell you that in Canada, for example, we pay so much in daycare and the children just play. The children just practically play. And Nigerians in Canada wish they could have a Nigerian daycare who can have a more structured approach for their children. But Nigeria school owners are not thinking globally to say, let me have an extension of my daycare in Canada. Where does it take? If I cannot afford it now, can I have a 5-year plan to afford having a small daycare in Canada, having a small daycare in US? If all you have is a Japa mentality, you will not think that way. So you as a school owner can have presence all over the globe. Let's use our churches as an example. Does Bishop Oyedepo Japa? Does Baba Kumu Japa? Does Baba Debo Japa? But are they not present in every continent of the earth? You don't have to. It's just, I don't know why people don't see this. Are they not present in every continent of the earth? Are they not still operating from Nigeria and easily flying about, monitoring the progress? More dollars are flowing into the ministry, more pounds are flowing into the ministry. They can do more. You think it's only the Nigerian Naira that is helping those ministries grow globally and sustain the things that they are doing? How many Nigerian businesses and expertise are being exported in the level of entrepreneurship? That's an example. So I'm here to challenge you. So if your teachers take advantage of that and you don't see it as an opportunity, imagine a school thinking globally. already establishing and having a global plan that in the next 3 years, if Nigeria, looking at the way Nigeria is growing, let me have a center in UK. What does it take to have a center in UK? In the community of Inner Circle, I explain in detail how you can open an unlicensed school. And an unlicensed school in Canada, you can charge up to $900 per kid, but you must not have more than 7 kids. 900 times $7, that can be a foundation for building your licensing. And you can have a licensed school before you now have a licensed day home, before you now have a licensed daycare. I built it. But how many people will take action with those information? Why? Because it's either people have Japa mentality, they want to leave their worries behind, like there's no worry abroad, or they are not taking advantage of those information. An example, So I explained. Immediately I was explaining, I just told my wife, this is the plan. They're going to come here. All of us are going to come here. You are going to settle down here very much well, but I'm going to be a globe trotter. I'm going to move around the globe. So once she got here, she settled, she got the job, she got everything she's doing. I'm like, okay, right. Now, next year, I'm going to be traveling back to Nigeria, spending time traveling to the US to understand their daycare system, because I took a training from Chris Murray, so that I begin to understand that I'm now getting global in my thinking. Guess what? What I've done for myself, I've been able to take myself out of the Nigerian limitation. So as much as I want to help the Nigerian community, if school owners in Nigeria gang up against me, which I know it will not happen, and say we are not patronizing you again, it won't affect my business in the long run. That's an example. So please don't let these things, these opportunities that are available for teachers are also available in the application. They're not looking for school owners and teachers. What they're looking is somebody with caregiver experience, somebody with daycare experience, somebody who has that experience, so you can position yourself in those dimensions. So we have to be global in orientation and stop. We can tackle the Japa mentality, but we must not throw the global mentality out of the box. So as it's open to the teachers, it's also open to you. It doesn't mean you can't open another branch of your school outside of Nigeria. Well, I've been able to express my own thoughts with these few points of mine, and I hope that this can serve as not to be scared about the change, but to see it as a two sides of a coin. Yes, it could be dwindling on one side, but also present to us global opportunities. And those that pivot, those that see the trend and move, we have nothing to regret. I'm going to finish with Covenant Christian Academy, who is also an Inner Circle partner. She practically travels with her teachers for training in UK. She has centers around. I think she has invited Mr. Joshua Falade to speak in her school. She's global in orientation, and she's not scared about the innovation. We handle some of our schools stuff. Basically, we've been together for the past 6 years. When she opened her school in Lekki, I was there physically. That's an example of not getting scared about what is going on, but taking advantage of it. She will not come to attack the fact that you should travel and take trainings and see how you can take certifications and all of those things. So she takes her teachers for that. So it's something that has come to be embraced, and gets the people that should even take advantage of it the more is the school owners, so that they can use it as a pivot for their school. So if your school is already in Canada and the teacher is already planning to go to Canada with her money, why not just say, before you settle in Canada, my school is in so location. Why don't you just land there and do some of those things there? So God help us all. I've been able to pass my information. Please don't be offended with my style. I just have to say it as it comes to my mind. God bless you.
Wow. Thank you very, very much, Teacher IT. This is very, very explosive. I want our people online on the Facebook and some of them that could make it into this very StreamYard room to begin to make comments. I want you to begin to make comments. We have seen a lot today. Mr. Itsuno has told us a lot. He has given us some important things, if I may summarize. While the fortune is going down, falling, in some places, the fortune are going up in some other places, and he has expanded, he has exploded our mind to those things that we need to do to ensure that we attract all those opportunities to ourselves. He has mentioned those things that are affecting schools, which is proliferation of school. When in the time past you used to be the single school on a street, but today you have about 70 or 7 schools on that same street. He has mentioned innovation, how innovation is affecting us, how it's affecting many schools, and those schools that are not ready to innovate, those that are kicking against technology, who are not willing to integrate technology with what they are doing, they will be stranded. And then those people that are not thinking about income opportunities, he said something very, very glaring. He said the opportunities that are bound, that are available to your teachers, are also available to you. You may write book, you can do online call, you can, create online course, you can hold webinar, you can do so many things that will augment your income, and that by the time you make those income, you may channel them back into your school business, and that is going to really impact positively on your school. And what are those things that will set you apart from competitor? He mentioned some 3 key things: that your school must develop her own unique selling points, her own unique selling propositions, and that you need to push those contents and those unique selling points through contents and events. That many of us are shying away from pushing our activities, through WhatsApp and through those online presence and the social media platform. You should learn this, and then we should think about partnership. Competition is very, very good for our parents, for our children, but there is what we call synergy. Synergy, where we can partner locally, we can partner globally. And Teacher IT has opened our mind, blew our mind to opportunities that are bound in Canada, opportunities that are bound in UK and other parts of the world. And why you as a teacher or a school owner should now begin to think globally. I think there is nothing we can say to Teacher IT than God will bless you, and then you will continue to remain relevant in this very sector. Yeah, been having feedback from here, but I wish that we have some questions that we can, present to Coach IT before he leaves. And all these things that we are doing there, school owners, we are doing it to ensure that you have a better, business. We call this program Roadmap 2023. Why is it a roadmap? It is a roadmap because we have brought people that know the way to chart the path for you. This is the way to go. If you are a type that reads the Bible, we were told of a tribe. We call them the tribe of Issachar. They have understanding of time. They understand the time and what Israel should do per time. And because of that, they were leaders. So if you want your school to be a leading school, this discussion is very, very key. For those people that have been asking if this thing is recorded, if you go to our Facebook page, www.facebook.com/Fieldstone Academy, it is there live and direct, and you can watch it and rewatch it. Teacher IT, there is a question here which I'm going to pin. Can you give ideas on international certifications we can have as educators?
Okay. Thank you for that question. I'm going to talk from the Canadian market that I know. Firstly, most in Canada, certifications are encouraged inside, not outside. So it's easy to assess some of those certifications once you are inside. However, if you're already a teacher from Nigeria with education, TRCN, and all those things, some of those certifications counts when you come into countries like Canada. Let me give an example. To be an educator in Canada, to be a certified educator in Canada, there are 3 levels. There's level 1 educator, level 2, level 3. A level one educator is somebody who just goes through, who has taken about 45 hours training in childcare education, about 45 hours training. So if you have not taken that, the government has a free training for that. But if you already have a certificate to show, that gives you level one. Now, level two is somebody who has 1 year, at least 1 year training as an educator. Level three is somebody who has 2 year training as an educator. And I'm very sure if you studied education in Nigeria, you already have that. So once you land in a country, once you find a way to land in the country, all you need to do is just send your transcript from your school to the Alberta or the state boards. They look at it and say, you know what, this is what 2 years. But most of the time they will give you level two because they just want you to understand their own sector. And they will just say, just take this 1 year course and you have the full certification. But the good thing is that as a level two educator, you still can open your day home as a level two educator. As a level three educator, you can now open a full-blown daycare, which can take as many students as your facility can have. And so that's the example from the Canada market. So like publicly, I'm saying it now, I'm working my younger sister to come over because she's helping my mom out in her school, but she was going to come as masters and study a year course, then file for those things and be able to establish a branch of my mom's school here in Canada. So that's an example for you for it. So you can now Google for others. There are some answers I might not have. There are some answers that you could find. But one thing that is so important is you must be a certified teacher in Nigeria, because those certifications, teaching certificates in Nigeria, have a role to play when it comes to international scene. They want to see that you're already doing something from your home country. So they just get a transcript from there and they can put you on a certification and use that to qualify you over time. I don't know if that answers the question.
Wow, thank you very much, Coach IT. There are other questions. There's one more here.
Okay.
Mrs. Adefioye Yemisi Oladoshu would like to know more about your inner circle. So you will, and then would like to have your contact number. So that is one. Then Mrs. Adejimi Tosin Esther. So at the end of the day, their participants, Mr. Etunu is going to make available to us all that he has in the offering for us, especially the inner circle. I wish that you could admit me also into the inner circle because I need to belong there. So I will not steal the idea, Coach IT. So
well,
thank you very
much. The truth is that when I came to the education sector, there was a lot of how will I put it? Don't steal my idea kind of mindset, which I really don't really care. As far as that thing can bless you, I think it should be made available. So for the inner circle, basically, I would say you should chat Mr. Joshua Falade for my number as regards that. I'll add it to the community. It's closed for now. It's open every 4 months and it's going to open by the end of January. Then you can be a part by that particular time. So basically, we close it for, because I always like to work with a set number of people so that I can answer questions and all those things, basically. But once you chat Mr. Faraday or Pastor, sir, he will get to you on that, basically.
Okay, so feel free. I'm going to get his number, the WhatsApp number, across to you. There is another question here, and I'm going to pin it to this very presentation. I don't know if you can see it. What
Yes,
are the new activities that can be introduced aside technologically integrated programs? What other activities can somebody introduce?
That question is fundamentally not right. I don't like the word aside being technologically. He's still avoiding the lion, and there's nothing like aside. You are trying to get to the finish line fast, but that's your choice. I can't really force that. Aside does not exist. Having activities and putting it on WhatsApp status is technology in the most basic form. So there's nothing like aside, ma. It's so important. I don't want you to have anything aside. However, It's still based on what makes your school unique, what makes your school different. For schools, some schools go as long as I have a school now who watches every game on TV. Spark, mathematics competition, family feud, who wants to be a millionaire, and all of those things, and uses it as a strategic event for every of our contents. So she says there's no how your child can come to this school and not be intelligent because of the way they present academic. That's a uniqueness for her. So it really depends on you. I can't mention that this is what you should focus on. Some it's math, some it's science, some it's reading, some it's activities that is based on co-curricular. So whatever is in your mind, when you wanted to open the school, what was in your mind? What is that one thing you'd like to see as transformation in the life of those children? Focus on that thing and forget all distractions. Stop going to schools to say, this is working here, let me copy it. This is working here. You're going to be a dustbin of so many information with no progress. I've never cared about competition in my life. I have never cared. If I'm in a group, I'm in two groups. Funny enough, I'm in two coaching groups. I'm in Mr. Falade's group and Mr. Ebenezer's group because I learn from them. I'm not there to observe how they do things, maybe so I can duplicate it. No, I'm not interested in those things. So forget about competition. Do those things expressed in your mind, what you have learned. When you go to a school, don't think because it's working there, it will work for you. Work with what is impressed in your mind, why you opened the school in the first place, and strategize that, and you'll see things happen, basically. So that's my suggestion as regards that. Yeah. I could take more questions. I don't know if that
there is for Mrs. Folasha Aderumola said the inner circle is a great place to be. Great ideas for school owners. I want to encourage our participants here that we should flock into Mr. Ituno's inner circle because things are happening over there. And there's something I want us to take away here, like what Mr. Ituno has said. There is nothing, in fact, there should be healthy competition. Fortunately or incidentally, he had work in the bank, I work in the bank. And you will see that on a single street, there are about 5, 6, 7 banks there. And nobody is going to, Babalawo to go and do business. Do juju so that this other one will run out of business. That's what we call synergy. That's what we call healthy competition. So when we come together, we bring our resources in terms of intelligence together, you see that we'll be better off. If there is nothing you take away here this afternoon, that should be that we need partnership, local and global. We need technology. Look at him. In fact, we should really appreciate him. It's about past 7 a.m. in Canada. Why many of us here, this is a program that we did not collect money for. I had to sacrifice so many activities today to stay back and work from home so that we can make this thing available to us at no expense at all. So we really appreciate you, Coach IT. If there are other questions that our people have, I know they are going to pass them across to me, which I'm going to forward to you for you to help us answer them. And for all the people that have joined us from wherever you have joined us, we are very grateful and we are very glad. And the only way you can help salvage Nigerian educational system is not to hoard information, it's not to hoard insight. What you need to do is that circulate this program. It continues tomorrow. It terminates on Thursday. It's going to be from 3 p.m. to 4 p.m., 1 hour, and then we are done. But by the time this program is over, I just believe that your school will not be the same. For those people that are interested in Coach IT number, please reach out to me via my WhatsApp number 08022278111, and I will readily make it available to you. And then when the inner circle will be open, let's flock there. The cost is very, very minimal compared to what people are going to get there. So all the people that have been in the attendance in this program, I hope we are going to see you tomorrow. This is not a program for just 11 people. But one thing I've made up my mind to do is that once I set my mind to do something, even if it is only one person that shows up, I will go ahead, because I may not be saying to everybody, but just a singular person. And if there's anything we have achieved today, we've been able to tell you, in spite of the dwindling, fortune of school in some areas, some other areas, there are opportunities. They are rising where other people are saying there is falling down. Coach IT, we are really glad and grateful for your effort today. It has been mind-blowing. And I'm going to really gather all the comments of the people, screenshot them, to fire them to you to see what people have been saying even behind the screen. They have really, really appreciated your presentation. And I hope we are still going to be having some great time together. When you return to Nigeria, I think I need to come and welcome you so that the collaboration will be very, very great. So thank you very much for your time.
Next year,
let me give you room for your parting words, sir.
So just to say thank you so much for giving me the opportunity. I'm such a young man, and at times I'm very humbled by the opportunities that have been presented to me. So thank you so much, sir. God will continue to bless. And this 2023 will be a very impactful year and record-breaking year for us all. In Jesus' name, I'll be in the country soon once my family is well settled, because those ones, they don't want to move anywhere else. But it's me that will be going everywhere else. So once my family is well settled, I'll be back in the country to continue my impact. So thank you so much for the time. God bless you.
And thank you very much. Everybody, do enjoy your day.